Alright. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Okay. Okay, hold up. If you want to get a couple of logs from it to spend on something else that I play, you can add it yourself by doing, I think it's story or exclamation story, add the name and then the link to it. And then that'll just throw you some logs for it. I'm trying to incentivize adding new stories since I don't always have the time to look around for them. Okay. Hey man, you got through one of my stories, so I'll take a chance on one of yours. Sorry, and so it's exclamation story, add, and then the name, followed by the link to it. And that'll throw you some logs for your trouble. It also throws additional logs if someone picks it up other than you.
Right.
Also, please ignore the background. I ended really abruptly last time I streamed. Cool. And I just have to... Story... Approve AI dream. There we go. Since I assume I don't have to ask you about whether you want me to read that or not. I really do need to set up the auto-approve system. By the way, this is happening. Oh, look at all those tentacles. I mean, not tentacles, vines. Also, AI Dream seems a little bit out of your usual warehouse. Don't you usually do, what do you call it? Fantasy stuff?
I sense a predator in the water.
Sure.
You have my attention.
Vinticles. Hey, Envy, look! It's Dr. Blackjack. He's in chat. Say hello. Envy was the one who recommended you to me, by the way, Dr. Blackjack. Garden of Life, Watery Devil. Okay, so if we just eat some tentacles, this should be a much faster... Actually, hold up. It said that we just had to kill things. It didn't say how we had to kill things. So why don't we just do this? Just like massive AoEs. I want to check this out. How much time does he have currently? Most is closer to sci-fi. Most is closer to sci-fi than fantasy, but it's often a weave of the two. Gotcha. I was recently reading an isekai, Western isekai, which I've actually been really enjoying, called Ritualist. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Reading is probably a bit of an overstatement, as I was less reading it and more listening to it.
Captain.
Do I want to... I think I'll just charge up a couple of shots. My god, these things have like the biggest bodies. Turn that on.
I'll be chopping you to another tack, Cap.
What can I do you for?
About $1.50. The symbol of Aethys emblazons the ground with the symbol of Aethys, periodically causing burn damage to... Ooh. Oh, I can hit everything with that. Okay, so this is one of the few times when this spell is going to be way better. So I'm going to wander directly into the center. Do we want to do this or do this? What are these things resistant to? Pierce and bludgeoning. Not resistant to slash.
Take him down.
What do you need?
Well, we just killed most of them. By the way, what's your trend? Yeah, what is your preference in games, Dr. Blackjack?
Leave it to me.
Like, what do you find interesting to watch? I forgot that this is free. I mean, it was a lot of tentacles, but it didn't actually do that much.
Glory be to God.
Okay. So, she's probably vulnerable to fire. She's certainly not no? She is a little... Actually, she's extremely resistant to it. What the hell? Why is she so resistant to fire? Okay. Okay, dire blessing it is. She has so much intelligence that we don't actually need everyone in the circle. You kind of have gaming ADD. Do you have a tendency to finish games, or is it mostly just like feel-good games that allow you to turn your mind off at the end of the day? Or maybe a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
You have my attention. What for, Cap?
Also, for the record, I really wish that I could actually play this in
You have my attention.
non-turn-based mode, because at this point we're so powerful that we don't really need the turn-based mode. The newest CRPG that came out, the new Pathfinder, apparently has both, and you can switch between them at any time, which I personally prefer. Relentless storm, ocean burst. Actually, no. You are a shark. Pretend to be a shark.
Watch me. Another attack, Cap.
That was a crit.
Captain. Aye, aye. Hey.
That was a... Oh, what did we gain? We just got something. Sigil of Nightmares. Nice. We're still looking for the Sigil of Death, though. Well, what are your favorite games? I'm mostly just trying to judge how much of a good fit you are for the sort of stuff that I stream. Outside of storytelling, of course. An eyebrow, the blue of the open sea, rises over an iris of warm green of the shallow surf.
You be boring a hole in me with them eyes, Cap. I'd offer an oboe for your thoughts, but I prefer not to make deals I ain't got no intention to keep.
I could say the same of you. You doing okay?
I'd be fine, actually. Strange though it be.
If you want to talk, I'll listen.
I'm not sure there'll be much to say, Captain.
At least you've got someone to stay with if you ever travel out west. Had that myself until someone broke my castle.
That'd be a point and a half. Mayhaps I'll go find myself Romaro one of these days. After we've done dealt with everything here.
With a grin and a soft chuckle, he turns away. He's got more to say. He just doesn't want to admit it yet. Oh, I love giant mushrooms. Okay, these are the sort of shell fungus that you could actually get this big. I really want to see what giant mushrooms look like, because most of the time they're tiny. But mushrooms, like the actual toadstool style mushrooms, generally won't get that big because they're just like the cellular structure of them won't support a weight that size. You end up getting something like the root, the humongous fungus, which is almost entirely a root system. There's a list of regulars for you. 8 Days to Die, Age of Empires, Among Us, Golf with Friends, Rocket League, Fallout. The original Fallout or the newer Fallouts? Total War Warhammer, 2 Point Hospital, Dark Souls, Darkest Dungeon. I missed Hades. Elder Scrolls, Minecraft, Raft, Risk of Rain, Sunless Sea. Ooh, Sunless Sea is an interesting one. Are you also a fan of Sunless Skies? All Fallouts, gotcha. I have done multiple playthroughs of the second Fallout. At one point I did the entire Fallout franchise, so I did Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout 3. I think I skipped New Vegas for some reason, I don't remember, and then I went on to Fallout 4, which I hated. I despise Fallout 4 because of what it did to the story. You find 4 godlike druids waiting for you in the clearing. The Death and Moon godlike whisper to one another, their gaze occasionally falling on you. The Nature godlike sways slightly on her feet, her eyes half closed, while the Fire godlike balls his fists at his side and grits his teeth.
Your every step fouls the ground. Why do you pollute this sacred place?
Oh, you know, just seeing the sights.
You've made your last mistake, trespasser.
Oh. They don't appreciate snark, I guess.
You need something.
What is that, a Sigil of Fire? Sigil of Pain. Okay, we got a Bog Barbarian and a Sigil of Nightmares. That's not good. Okay, we're just gonna go with the big old lightning bolt abilities. All right, you also can turn into giant things. This guy's had better gameplay, but Skies I think had a more interesting atmosphere. I'd agree. I still haven't played Skies though. I've just heard reviews of it, and I think that I would be more interested in Skies. I ended up rage quitting on Seas, unfortunately, because I just got so tired of having to, or like losing the captain that I worked so hard to build up every single time.
Yeah?
Our big fish man can take it. All right, let's start pulling people.
May I be a candle in the night. That must have hurt.
So most of what I tend to do is do CRPGs and stuff, but that is all dependent on what chat wants to see, really. Because I have a system that allows frequent chat members to actually vote on whatever I play next. Granted, because I tend to do a lot of CRPGs, it does also mean that those times come around very slowly. You did your first time through, but subsequent playthroughs you did much better. I tried to do multiple playthroughs and I couldn't
Speak your mind.
ignore how much it took away from you every time you died. Also, just doing the Salt Lions over and over again kind of got boring to me. You meant like a year late. Oh, okay. So when you're talking playthroughs, you're talking actual attempts to play the game.
Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Did you play Cultist Simulator at all?
What do you need?
There's a Druid of Winter, a Bog Barbarian. We're out of abilities at this point. We have Soul Strike.
May I be a candle in the night.
What is that camera doing? Also, feel free to ask about what's going on because, as you know, Most CRPGs tend to be very boring until you actually have context for whatever actions are going on. I'm always a little bit surprised by how few people do ask. Okay, you eat that man. That man has effectively been eaten. He's probably got like 1 or 2 hit points.
What can I do you for?
We also have the storm, but this will kill me. This, honestly, the storm of 7 bolts is probably one of my favorite items in the game. Not because it's so powerful, but because it is almost entirely lethal to both sides. I've used it only once, and both times that that one time that I've managed to use it successfully, it still nearly killed me. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah?
We're gonna have to kill those sigils immediately after this fight.
Go on, Captain.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be in shark form for a while.
For my captain. Ahoy.
Okay, that's a greater flame blight, but you're almost dead already.
Be blowing a man down.
I wouldn't mind the additional XP from killing him, but he just needs to die. So is that a pig? It looks like a pig.
Let's go.
Your desire is mine.
Okay, so it does have to be with a melee attack.
Something
He
I
does
can do.
significant damage with melee though, so that's not that surprising.
Happy to oblige.
Sure.
Your desire is mine. At your service. I am the Alpha Predator.
Please kill that thing. These things will stack debuffs on me if I don't kill them quickly.
Yes, Captain. It will be so. Go on, Captain.
Curses, specifically.
You have my attention.
Takehu?
Captain.
Shit.
Go on, Captain.
I'm gonna save a new game and reload that save game. And we'll hope that that fixes this. Hey, it did. Fantastic.
I've got it.
Look at these giant mushrooms. Oh, ho, ho, ho. What's this? A warbow. According to tradition, according to tradition, the man who became Saint Omaku crafted this bow out of wild mangrove trees on a semi-mythical island known to the people of the Deadfire as Gallowayne's Grove. If the legends are to be believed, Gallowayne gave Omaku charge over life and death on the island. He was tasked to maintain the balance of predator and prey, strong and weak. The penitent Omaku thus became the warden of Gallowayne's creation, culling and healing in equal stride. He spent the long days of his life in service to the sanctity of the hunt. You have a good day, Envy. A good lurk. Actually, what's the upsides of this? It is superb, heavy draw. Gallowayne's favor. Restore 10 health to nearby allies on scoring a kill. Increases with the religion skill. Saint's Grace. Plus 15% action speed. Increases as health is lost. It's an aura. Let's loose an arrow at an ally. The wielder receives raw damage while the target receives health. At an ally. Okay, I transfer some health over to the target. Huh. Interesting. I don't think it's something that I'd use, but it's interesting. Cool. I will definitely take a look at it. I mean, obviously, it's one of 2 stories in the list now, so probably next stream. I might have to go around and take a look and find a couple of more stories, because 2 stories is not a stream. It is, what, an hour-ish, maybe, depending on how long the stories are. I could also add some of my older stuff. Honestly, my older stuff isn't good, though. So, I dealt with the druids, I guess. That was not really the way that I intended to deal with the druids, but it's the way that we dealt with the druids. Okay, Fleet Master's Quarters. Generally, yes. If you know anyone else that you could recommend, feel free to throw a couple of them in there. Obviously, I'd have to get their approval and such, but, you know.
No doubt the druids plot their next attack even as we speak.
Oh, no, they're dead.
Excellent. You are as dependable as I've been told to expect. Now we can begin logging in earnest. Regarding your reward, we seized a cache of weapons from a gang of pirates we caught sniffing about Sayuka.
If you want, you can add them too, and then we can see about going through them. I don't mind doing a lot of them in a row. I did also stuff that's like public domain, like I have no mouth but I must scream, is all good. Actually, I wouldn't mind adding I have no mouth but I must scream again. God, that'd be a good one. I really like that story.
Of course, we only use regulation weaponry here, so I'd appreciate it if you'd take these off my hands before one of my engineers does something foolish with them.
She foists a bundle of grenades into your arms and tosses a blunderbuss on top of the heap. Oh, really? Alright, what's this thing? Zepha's Empirical Explication. An odd confluence of alchemy and mechanical engineering, the blunderbuss once belonged to Zepha Bombardi, an old Valian pirate and noble. Zepha was not known for his savagery or ruthlessness, nor was he known for being a particularly successful pirate. Rather, he considered himself to be a natural philosopher, rejecting the mysteries of the arcane in favor of a rational, verifiable logic. He spent his years in the Deadfire aboard his personal frigate, tinkering with mechanical designs, experimenting with the alchemical formula, and writing innumerable treatises on the natural workings of the world. He looted and pillaged on occasions, but that was only a means to find his various projects. Piracy, even half-hearted piracy, was a dangerous side profession, however, and Zephyr had no illusions about it. This weapon served him well throughout the years, and he never stopped fiddling with the designs. As his mastery of alchemy and engineering improved, so did his favorite weapon. So what's the deal with this thing? It does raw damage. That's actually really good. Raw damage is impossible to avoid. I believe. I'm pretty sure that raw damage is impossible to avoid, but it also doesn't have any benefits on anything, and it doesn't cause crits. Or, sorry, it can't be multiplied with crits, I should say. Target knocked back on crits. That's about it.
You found me with a rare spare moment.
Who are you?
Did you not read the name on the door before you came in? You do know you're in the office of the Fleet Master, I hope.
She knits her brows. Wow, really? How thrilling!
A smart mouth. What a rare treasure.
Okaya rolls her eyes skyward.
I'm a Fleet Master of the Rawatayan Navy stationed at Sayuka, a research colony of the Royal Deadfire Company.
Impressive title.
To one unfamiliar with the Rawatayan Navy, perhaps. But mine is an administrative position. I see to the smooth running of Sayuka. Of course, it'd be a sight easier if there weren't the coral to contend with.
What are you researching?
Andra's mortar. Storms that strong, that consistent. I suspect they're not natural.
What fleet? I don't see any boats.
You misunderstand. I don't command ships. I command this port. Rawatayan vessels docking here are under my protection, but I don't tell them where to go. That's the Hazanui's job.
Wait. Oh, right. She's not Valiant Trading Republic. She's the Royal Deadfire Company.
You misunderstand.
Okay. I feel like we're the baddies.
Huh?
We definitely done killed a lot of people just now. And it was all because I made a snarky quip. Which, admittedly, I probably should have known would end poorly, but... Okay. Oh, Eldritch horror stories are great. Dude, I am a big fan of anything Eldritch in Origin. A lot of the background of the Dark Forest is supposed to be Eldritch, which with Moon's Reach kind of digging more into that. I mean, Moon's Reach is a planet that's entirely covered in ice and water. Of course it's going to be Eldritch in some way. Hello? How you doing, Zatara? I hope Somek is around today. I want to ask him about things. And there's a ferret. I still want to make sure that I can actually make those spammable. Supposedly, they should be spammable, but sometimes they don't. God damn it. Stop that. Actually, I guess they are pretty spammable. Song of Souls. You eating you
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
What am I stopping? That one you can't spam because it's pretty long. What is this? Summons a skeleton to fight for the enchanter. Trying to figure out what else I want. I guess I'll take this. Will now bounce many more times. Fantastic. It was already lethal. Now it's even more lethal.
Right.
Because I would use it when the number of enemies was really small, so it would bounce between two enemies and just kill both. Alright. I think we're pretty much done on Sayuka, unless there's something else that I need to do. Oh, stray cat! We never leave the stray animals behind. However, I do sometimes put them into the critter chopper. Don't look at me that way. The critter chopper is a better way to preserve all animals since they're not dead. They're just in the critter chopper now. Yeah, that's correct, Zatara.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Stop! You violated the law.
Oh, hey.
Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen
I guess
goods
that
are
answers that
now
question.
forfeit.
I should have a way to make them actually play on top of each other rather than overlap. You could leave out the teasers if I'd like. They're enjoyable in and of themselves, but they do kind of end in a hook. Oh, that's fine. I don't mind that. There's been a couple of stories which, and I'll be perfectly honest, Blackjack. There were times when I did not ask people for permission, and have since removed all videos related to those. But there were a couple of stories like that where I read large amounts. I try to make sure that people understand that did happen, and I'm not trying to cover it up. And I really hate that I did that now, because it's kind of a dick move to use someone's work without their permission. I didn't even realize at the time that I was doing something wrong back then, and I'm glad that I've changed my method of doing things. By the way, speaking of, well, actually unrelated, we have a fundraiser going on. Speaking of selfless acts, yeah, that's what we'll go with. Speaking of selfless acts, we have a fundraiser going on, and that fundraiser is with the intent of donating to the Rainforest Trust, which goes around buying up specific swaths of rainforest so that they can preserve them. The Dark Forest has
welcome in Sayuka, traveler, as surely as the winds stir the sea.
I will get back to you. What are we teasing? I don't know, man. Haven't I seen this one? I have not. You've never beaten Bloodborne, Zatara. An odd one, but a bit of a guilty pleasure. I think I told you a little while back about something called soul writing that I do sometimes just after I've got like a big emotional breakthrough, because I try to take my emotional state and put it on paper before it goes away. I've got a couple of those that I can throw at you if you're interested in reading them. They're my most unique kind of writing, and I don't do them often for obvious reasons. Man, this means that next week we can actually do a story night, because we've got enough stories to do so. Oh, I imagine it's kind of hard to find time to sit down and do something. I'm actually kind of impressed that you can find time to sit down and do some writing every week. I've been actually failing. It's not for lack of ideas, it's just that I've been having trouble sitting down and doing it. Oh, maybe. I can find it. Also, who the heck is Teeb? The young Huana woman gives you a sunny smile, and that shows every one of her pointed teeth. Oh, yeah, I should probably point out, Huana are shark people.
No, no, no. How many times must I demonstrate the proper way to greet a visitor?
The Undersecretary makes empathetic chopping motions with his hand, a snarl curling his thin lips.
I say, I must have forgotten again. Will you remind me of the line, Undersecretary?
We say clear skies, traveler. Simple, elegant, and no smiling. Do you understand, Greeter Tebe?
Can you repeat it once more? I want to make sure I've got it.
Tebe turns wide, innocent eyes on the Undersecretary. The Undersecretary opens his mouth to speak, but his expression abruptly clouds. He shoots a scowl at Tebe and elects instead not to dignify her joke at his expense.
Questions, traveler?
What can you tell me about Sayuka?
Sayuka, known to my people as Ribiri, is a colonial outpost of the Royal Deadfire Company.
Tebe makes no effort to hide the boredom in her voice.
The island of Sayuka is the Royal Deadfire Company's center of engineering research and development in the archipelago. Our work is directed by Fleet Master Okaya, the youngest Rawatayan ever to hold the title. Best of her class at the Naval Academy in Tokoa, and a brilliant engineer, our Fleet Master.
You forgot to mention the giant sharks, Undersecretary.
Wait, hold up. Giant sharks?
Giant sharks, giant coral, giant trees, Hekira. The only thing not bigger in Sayuka is us Korna.
Small mercy.
The Undersecretary mutters under his breath.
No one knows why things grow large in Sayuka, but there are all sorts of theories. Me? I think Gallowayne smiles on us.
Tebe's cheeks glow with a faint blush, the first authentic emotion you've seen in her face.
Superstition is unbecoming of a Royal Deadfire Company officer, Tebe.
I say, it's a lucky thing I'm not one then.
Why are you dressed like a Royal Deadfire Company soldier, Tebe?
Hekira. I wonder the same every day.
Tebe learns to perform her duties as a Rawatayan might.
The Undersecretary straightens his back and squares his shoulders. Something that I should point out. There are two different types of Amawa, which is what these guys are, the shark people. There's the Huana, who are native to the Deadfire Archipelago, and the Rawatayan, who are not native to the Deadfire Archipelago and live on the shores near the Deadfire. The Huana are blue, the Huana are kind of a bronze color, whereas the Rawatayans are blue. Oh, you forgot the story at the beginning. So, exclamation story, add.
Her fellow Juana show a lamentable disinterest in the proper way of doing things.
He nods curtly in Tebe's direction.
Do not speak about me as if I am not here.
What is an undersecretary exactly?
A career sandal sniffer and busybody, so far as I can tell.
Tebe shrugs.
You ungrateful sag! I am the second in command to Fleet Master Okaya, the governor of your piddling little island, and I will not be mocked by a smart-mouthed idler like you!
The Undersecretary's jowl quivers with barely contained rage.
So I have heard many, many times.
Tebe meets your eyes and raises her brows emphatically. Is it just me, or is this guy terrible?
You don't know the half of it.
An impish smile plays at the corner of her mouth.
What was that, Greeter Tebe?
Surely just the breeze, Undersecretary.
Tebe's impish smile grows into a mocking grin.
You will call me Sir.
Akira, I certainly will not.
More things have been making me laugh lately, and that's a good sign. I am hard to make laugh. Yep. I will go through and approve all of them later. Yeah, no problem. I'm pretty used to that by now. Occasionally I'll find an artist or a writer who doesn't want to give permission, and that's completely fine. It's only happened twice so far, but it does happen. Usually it's because they've had a bad experience with narration or narrators in the past. or they want to save the story for something else. Which, just so you know, Dr. Blackjack, be aware that if you intend to get something written, it's not always the best idea to have someone narrate until after you've got the book out. Although I'm sure you're aware of that at this point. Sayuka. So we've already kind of done everything in Sayuka, so we're just going to leave. Well, that's one of the recent ones, I think, isn't it? I remember seeing that. Oh no, 1 year ago. Never mind. Huh. Oh! Okay, fine. Ooh, that'll be fun then. I like to think that I specialize in writing alien stuff or non-human minds, but I personally don't think that I can do it well enough to actually show people the stuff that I've written. Moon's is a world that has no humans on it whatsoever, and like nothing's even remotely close to humans. You got three major races: hermit crab squids, jellyfish or immortal jellyfish that constantly eat each other, and a race of lobster crabs that just are really greedy and move real fast but cannot swim. Yes, I did make Mr. Krabs an entire race. You barely cleared Sayuka Harbor when a sleek half galley appears off the port bow. It rides high in the water and fast, but keeps its distance as it approaches land. Seraphin watches the ship's passage from the bulwark, expression grim. When the ship turns to pursue you, you recognize it as Malnage's vessel, the Misery's Delight. Its cannons don't seem primed, and it aims to come alongside rather than set up for a broadside run. Looks like the High Queen Sea Devil be wanting word, Cap. Not sure if it'll be good or ill, but at least it'll mean she ain't on Sayuka. Seraphin's ears angle slightly back, and he massages the bridge of his nose. I cannot do Seraphin's voice, I'm sorry. I cannot combine both the rasp and the accent. As the Misery's Delight comes alongside, Malnage stands on the railing, one gray-furred hand wrapped tight around a thick hemp line. She bows low, doffing her hat, and then tosses it to one of her deckhands. I just realized that my cat cam's been on this whole time. Boop.
Funny seeing you here, Captain. Especially since we've tracked Romaro to this very rock. Ain't trying to steal the bounty, are you?
Malnage cants her gray-furred head at you, hand on her hips, and near her weapon. I'm going to start using the word cant. Because I forgot that word exists. You know my relationship to your bosses. You really want to test me?
Yeah, she's always been 2 tentacles short of a septopus, Cap.
Malnage's lip twists over her pointy teeth, twitching. She bends forward slightly, like she might leap upon you, but instead straightens. Finally, she shrugs.
The way I see it, they won't much care if I gut myself a traitor, even if it be you.
We could kill her. Or we could tell her to fuck off. You know what? I'm a goddamn stubborn captain who's just come out of retirement after 60 years in her castle. Oh, yeah, Dr. Blackjack, check your logs real quick. See how many you've got after all those stories.
Hey, the Deerwood motto. Used to have that on the coat of arms long time back.
With a quiet snort, she shakes her head.
Funny. I'd have thought a watcher would have had better instincts than siding with a known traitor.
She shakes her head in an approximation of sadness, but doesn't bother hiding her grin.
Fuck it. We'll deal with you first, then go have a little chatsy with Rimaro. No quarter, lads and lasses.
Eh. I really doubt that you can really hurt me. But there's always a first. Okay, first of all.
This I cannot do.
Oh, it's exclamation logs. Because after all that, you should have a ton. What did you just do, Reke? Yeah, look at that. And I've told a lot of people this before, but that is easily the fastest way to gain logs. Okay, let me show you what you can do with the logs. So I was talking about the whole system that you can use to kind of pick what games I stream. So this is the weekday profile. And on that, you can put the logs towards any of the games on this list. And the logs only start to decay after 100 days right now. Sorry, 104. Didn't we have 106 or something? I wonder what happened to that. But yeah, logs only start to decay after that many days. And the basically whenever I pick the next game, it gets removed from the top of the list, and then it just kind of stays there. So right now, after I finally beat Pillars of Eternity 2, Legacy of Kain Blood Omen 2 gets played, and Pathfinder is actually going to get removed because it's going to get played on the weekends right now. Then we have Death of the Outsiders coming up right after that. The reason that it's so high is because for a while a lot of people had so many extra logs. But we're finally starting to get through a lot of games, so hopefully it should start reducing. Mind Lance. I can never figure out how to use Mind Lance effectively.
I'll be chucking you to chum.
What can I do you for?
Oh, right. The actual voting thing. Yeah, that's how to use vote. Okay. How do we want to do this? Also, this is strangely absent of combat music, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah?
Oh, wow. Okay, that pistolaire did not have very much health at all. You guys are really weak.
Yeah?
Why are you so weak? I would have expected this fight to be a lot tougher considering where it pops up in the story. KOTOR is finally getting a remake. KOTOR 1?
Happy to oblige.
The BioWare one, right? Because I know the second one was made by Obsidian. Interesting. I probably won't bother with it, honestly. The last time that I had KOTOR on my list, it ended up decaying off before anyone noticed it.
May I be a candle in the night.
Okay, so this will absolutely kill them. I don't know why the combat music isn't here. Usually there is some combat music.
Ahoy. Consider it right fucked.
Yeah, these two are gonna die. That was the boss. That was him. That was them.
What can I do you for? What can I do you for? Uh-huh.
Well, that all happened.
I've got it.
Yeah. Happy to oblige.
Do we want to go back to Ramaro? And just ask him how he feels about all that? Whoops, is that a typo? Or is that actually intentional? Humans. Yeah, I'll change that later. Don't worry about it. Man, you've really fleshed out the big old list. Hold up, don't add anything for a second. There you go. Fixed. Short but fun. Oh, good. I like the short ones. They tend to be a better experience when streaming. I don't mind doing longer stories, but I prefer to make edited together videos of them rather than do them in streams. Also, I gotta admit, what was his name? Clegg Snack has a really good talent for reading. Okay. He was here? Is he not here anymore? Okay, I guess he's just gone.
Captain? Ahoy, Captain. What can I do you for?
You mean like 2 minutes? Oh, okay, gotcha. What was that about short stacks? Short stories. I glimpsed your thoughts when Ramaro said, told us about the sorcerer and its slaves.
I espy a lurking question, Cap.
Were you a slave? His small frame expands as he inhales deeply, then deflates with a long sigh through his nostrils.
I were born into slavery, Cap. I never knew no father save Ramaro and don't much remember my mother. I do remember the day they tore me from her arms. Her screams. Kind of thing that leaves a mark. It'd have been one thing if I was purchased for labor, to lift or farm or fix or what do you have. But they bought me to fight. Threw me in a fucking pit. Set me against other slaves.
He shudders.
There's a special place in hell for souls like that. No, really, they get shredded. Cut right from the cycle.
Huh! Rimmergand, in other words. How'd you go from the slave pit to the sea?
They transported me twixt one pit and the next by ship. And they would set me swabbing decks.
He massages one palm with a furred thumb.
One eve the sorcerer fell upon him sneaking up in the sunset. When blades were drawn, I availed myself of one. Found myself a little justice. Ramaro brought me aboard the sorcerer. The rest of the story's old.
So you're saying you're literally a pirate of the mind? You sail in and steal people's thoughts?
Behold, lass, I'm the original psychic piratical.
Not hardly. Even I've heard about Malnage. She's a cipher like you, ain't she? Only older.
Had to dredge up my cruel rival. You should know her arsehole itches when mention being made of her.
What a nasty hex. Tell me you weren't the one that put it on her. Darn, I hope that doesn't make her itch. Hell, or that. I'm just making it worse. I best shut my mouth before I cause more damage.
I like your style, kid.
You know that she's dead, right? We done killed her. Yep. That was a weird time for that to come up. Okay. What are we doing now? So that's his companion quest done. Oh my god, there's so many things left to do. I've gone through so many of the side quests. Do we want to try out? Okay. No. We're going to do Fruitful Alliance. Ori Okoiki to speak with the Wahaki chieftain. Where the hell is Ori Okoiki? Koiki. We're going. So how far have you actually managed to get in Bloodborne, Zatara? Ooh. You're rounding a rocky islet in the middle of the ocean when you see a ship drifting on the horizon, its sail luffing in the breeze. A rough symbol has been painted onto it. You pull out your spyglass and peer at the symbol. It's crudely drawn, but it looks like it could be a war club, or a sword, or a key. Other than the flapping sails and swaying lines, you don't notice any movement. But you do spot one body slumped against the gunwale, or gunwale. Is it gunwale or gunwale? I'm actually not sure. And another is splayed over the wheel. And an arrow buried in the mast. Aloth appears at your side and looks as well. That symbol. It looks like a variant of the Leaden Keys insignia. Interesting. You think they're Leaden Key? Or attacked by them, perhaps. Leaden Key members rarely announce themselves in such bold fashion. But we won't know until we look, Aloth says. It looks to me like the war club of the Wahaki tribe. They paint this on raided ships to warn others, I say. Takehu folds his arms and shivers. Well, let's investigate. Let's see who it is. Dead men tell no tales. These men are telling many tales, though.
Huh? Right. On it.
Not sure I can.
A fragment of essence quivers near a corpse. Most of the soul seems to have departed already, but this fretting, fluttering piece remains. It throbs with panic. Even standing this close to it raises your pulse. As you let it wash over you, terror thins your blood. Your heartbeat becomes the galloping of hooves. You fight to keep yourselves from vomiting with fear, if only to avoid the noise. This was supposed to be a quick trade run, up to Nekataka and out in a few days. But you got lost in that fog, and the next thing you know, arrows were flying through it. So you hid here, between some of the crates, where it's dark, where the screams on deck are just a little quieter. You'd thought pirates were the greatest danger for merchant ships like yours, but the shrieking warriors butchering your crewmates don't seem like pirates. One of them is up in the rigging, painting some kind of symbol on your sails. Light spills into your hiding place. An Amawa warrior, one of the Huwana, you think, stands over you. Foreigners shall corrupt our land no more. You are looking up towards the glare and the Amawa silhouetted against it, when pain lances through the base of your skull. Jyoti, you wanna? Okay, Jyoti usually picks up any souls that I find.
Sure.
All right, Aloth, what's up?
Did you find something? You have that look again.
They were merchants, killed by Huana, who said something about foreigners corrupting their lands.
Well, that's a start. I found some unusual stains. I don't think they're blood, but they are rather odorous.
He wrinkles his nose at a streak of something in the color of a fresh bruise. That's Koiki pulp.
So it is. But what would that be doing here?
I don't know.
Oh, them half-mad Wahaki on Oreo Koiki smeared all over themselves. The island ain't far from here. Yeah, we gave it a wide berth back on a sorcerer, though.
Of course. The same group we met on Motario Cozy, as I recall.
I've heard they're aggressively isolationist. As for what that has to do with the leaden key...
He frowns, looking at the key-like symbol painted on the sail.
At least we know where to look next.
Though if this becomes anything like our encounter in the Defiance Bay catacombs, well, I hope we get our answers before the bloodbath.
He looks at you and smiles wryly. I do love that we can pull in a save from the first game. There's so many references to my actions in the first game, and it's great. Makes me feel like I'm continuing the same quest line, which I guess I kind of am. Okay. Matare Ukozi Ori Okoiki. Here we are. Shipwreck over here too. Can we loot that? Okay. Can't get close enough to loot it. Alright, this is gonna go badly, I bet. Oh wait, hold up. For this quest, do we want to have any particular person? Fruitful Alliance. Okay, sweet. We already have him in the party. Still finding more stories to add, eh?
Not my first visit to Oreo Koiki. Akira, hopefully not my last.
Let's see. Intimidate and some stealth. Nice. That's actually pretty damn good. Good old critical defense.
Yeah.
That was easy. The painting on the post resembles the symbol used by the leaden key. A young woman steps up to the edge of the cliff and peers down, wearing an amused grin. She fingers the curve of a long hunting bow.
You keep turning up like a chipped Izada.
She nods towards Takehu.
Something keeps drawing me back to Oreo Koiki, I say.
Takehu winks up at her.
Don't let Awata hear you say that.
She returns her focus to you with a frown.
You went into the jungle for animal hides, I say, and found yourself in an empty clearing. Akira, silence is wise. You turned around and retraced your steps back to your ship, where it was safe.
She picks up her hunting bow and knocks an arrow, pointing it in your direction. Look, I just want to talk. Can we talk?
Not if you cannot listen.
With a sigh, she points the arrow to the ground.
If you came to blunt my teeth with chatter, try to keep it short.
I bring an offer of alliance from Queen Onakaza II. Her bearing abruptly straightens as she regards you anew, taking you in from head to toe.
We remember the old compact with the Nekataka Queen. Do you have her treaty words?
Over crumbling mountains, across blighted seas.
Akira, the Queen must be desperate to send you, I say. Rasare will be expecting you inside.
She gestures for one of the cliffside guards to lower the lift.
Seeing as you've earned your way up from nuisance to guest, find me if you feel like trading.
Capeha folds her arms and strolls away from the cliffside. Neat. Let's take a look over here real quick.
On it, not happening.
Infested koiki. Quest item. This koiki fruit looks a day past its prime, but still edible. Holding it in the light reveals a darker truth. The seeds under the skin possess tiny legs, wings, and vicious pincers. The infestation seems dormant for now, but it's anyone's guess what could happen after an incautious bite. Ew. That's disgusting. Rocky outcroppings pepper the face of the cliffside. You can make out the shape of stone ruins situated high above. The terrain offers an abundance of hands and footholds, though the length of the climb alone would exact a heavy toll of effort and strain. Scouting for a secure passage could help mitigate the risks of a hard climb. I think we're going to leave this for now. Come back to it later. With the help of an elaborate pulley mechanism, this lift can be raised to the lip of the plateau. The creaking of wood and straining of rope accompanies the lift's upward journey. Piggies! What's with the piggies? Oh, do they all have... I guess they all have animal companions. They're all rangers. Or druids. Capeha.
Akira, what now?
Capeha furrows her brow and waits. Know anything about the odd-looking this odd-looking koiki? Frowning, she studies the fruit in your open palm, poking it gently with her index finger. The koiki rocks back and forth.
Do not eat this.
She makes a complex warding gesture with her hands.
It is infested. The wood-strangling wasp planted its larvae in this koiki.
She glances off to the tree line.
I will alert the others. Do not eat it unless you want insects to burrow through your windpipe and hollow you out from the inside.
Anything I should know about the locals?
Buparo is our mystic, convinced that the whole fortress will come crumbling down if he doesn't keep to his daily devotions. As for the rest, ask around. I'm not here to satisfy your curiosity. You're in luck.
Trade. Kaworu's prize. A ring, I think. Plus 5% damage with spells, plus 1 to intellect, plus 1 to perception. That would go on a certain big boy. Alright. When the volcano erupted on the far side of the island, oh god, that's probably really wrong. Beyond tired from a football game? Were you playing in the football game or watching from the football game? Also, I hope that you've been vaccinated. Performing for halftime. Okay. Gotcha. Right. Right. You were saying that you were in a band for that, right? What was your instrument for that? You already got your 2 shots. Good. I would be really worried if someone in my chat ended up getting COVID. A completely preventable disease at this point. Maybe we can turn it into a computer virus. That would be the worst. It's like a drum set on wheels, but without the big drums. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Do you have to wheel it around in front of you when you're moving? I'm going to look this up. Of course, the first thing that pops up is Sweetwater. Probably because I've bought from them in the past. Oh, I kind of see. Jeez, that's expensive. How much did yours cost? Because I'm looking at like $500. Oh, is it something that you borrow for the halftime show? All right, hold up a moment. Sorry, when the volcano erupted on the far side of the island, Pauaru the Ranga of the local Huana tribe, ordered the Raparu shorewalkers to scour the lava fields in search of valuable volcanic ash to fertilize the crop. While performing this duty, one shorewalker came about a small white jewel resting atop the surface of a cooling lava pool. She carefully retrieved it. She took the gem to the village artisan, Akoaru, who occasionally dealt with the lower caste, and asked him to make a ring with the stone so she could properly present it to the Ranga. Akoaru recognized the gem as a piece of the heart of the volcano. It was a prize beyond the station of the Raparu, and the Ranga surely would not appreciate its true value. He confiscated the jewel and sent the shorewalker away. He crafted a ring, but had no intention of parting with it. Oop. We don't have no money. Hold up. We can fix this problem. We now have money. We now have a lot of money. Okay, Takehu, I got something for you. What is this ring that I just purchased? What is this ring that I just purchased? There it is. Okay, Takehu, here you go.
I gladly accept.
Right.
A round-bellied man stands at ease before a cluster of hardened fighters, their fists balled and brows furrowed. Murmurs of tense discussion slow to a halt as a woman at the head of the crowd steps forward, clutching a spear.
Maybe the spear's a gift for us?
Silence.
She grimaces at Adair.
The outsider must leave. Oreo Koiki will not be parceled off and bought with foreign lies.
She sweeps her spear tip to gesture in your direction.
Only the handsome fish can stay.
She waves her spear point towards Takehu. He's mine. He swallows and raises his palm in mute greeting.
Ruasari would never let that happen. Where is your confidence in our Ranka?
I take it there's a problem.
You are the problem. We do not track dirt in our home.
We are no better than the outsiders if our Mataru act like inhospitable savages. Where is the courtesy and welcome of the Wahaki?
If you have such love for outsiders, let this one speak for herself.
She fixes her attention on you. I travel with Ngati's chosen. Excuse me. Went down the wrong pipe. I travel with Ngati's chosen. He will keep me honest.
I will? I mean, Akira, I will.
Takehu bows his head and touches his forehead.
If the outsider turns on us, I say I will drag you through Tangaloa's maw with me.
She curls her upper lip at Aparo.
For all our sakes, may I be proven wrong.
Nodding to the assembled fighters, she signals them to disperse.
On behalf of those who remember our manners, welcome to Oreo Koiki.
He sighs and shakes his head as the warriors before refocusing on you. Why are the Wahaki so protective of their land?
We safeguard any land that the trading companies have not stolen out from under Anakaza's throne. The islands will fall if the tribes do not recall our past and Ngati's covenant.
Ngati's covenant?
Ngati bade her followers to protect the islands, the tribes, and the luminous Adra. For this, she gave us the power to shape her domain. If we fail in our charges, the birthright of the Huana disappears. The Wahaki remember this. The Kahanga, they forget.
When he turns to face Takehu, Aparo's joyful face creases with worry.
Some of us remember. What we choose to do with the memory is ours to decide.
Takehu glances away. What are your thoughts on Akaizo?
I cannot speak of lost Akaizo to an outsider. That is not our way.
Too bad. I already know where it is, and I'm going there at some point. When I feel like it. When I want to do the DLC. Why so much concern over the past?
We lost much of ourselves when Cataclysm scoured the Deadfire.
A vibraphone? I don't even know what that is. Your rack has been worn down a lot from playing. Tires on it have no treads. Oh. You play for your school's marching band. Gotcha. And your hands now smell like metal. One of these days, I gotta actually take a look at the cello that I own. It's just sitting in my apartment right now, going unused because I haven't been able to put the time into it. Between work and this and, well, this, I don't actually have that much time to put into music lessons.
Somewhere among the islands, there's a place where we...
He stops himself and bites his lower lip.
Ikira, my apologies, but I should say no more.
Yeah, I really do want to try it.
I am pleased to be making a new friend.
Years ago, I played it in orchestra, and unfortunately I ended up having to go to a what do you call it? I ended up having to have a surgery done, which took me out of school for almost half a year while I recovered. And during all of that time, my mom ended up asking me, hey, do you want to actually have a cello? And I was like, yeah, I would love to have a cello, and just never got into it after that, unfortunately. So I still keep it around because it's a good instrument and I really treasure it. It's just, I don't know how to use it. Well, not very well, at least. Ah, I know this one, actually. Leblona Merodon. I do remember this. Yep. The first time that I ended up reading this, it took me a little while to get the name right, but Leblana Merodon is a really good story. Also, Jesus, Blackjack, you probably have earned more logs in the first couple of streams of being here than anyone else in the stream. Just due to all of the stories that you've added so far. Would take small lessons to warm up and work on pieces. Yeah. I don't know how much music lessons cost, though, is the thing. I also don't know if my cello is actually fully set up. Like, I'm pretty sure that the bridge isn't correctly set up yet. So I'd probably have to take it to a music store just to make sure that it's in a good spot. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, Liblana Metadon was one of the ones that I did before I started asking authors for permission, so it'll be good to actually give the chance to have a saved version of it. I still really regret that, by the way. I wish that I had read the rules more thoroughly on Humanity. Fuck yeah. Because it does outline that you should be asking for permission, and I just didn't know. Yep. And it's not like I ended up profiting off any of it. I did get rid of all of the old story streams of it, so no one can even see them anymore. Okay. Are you and Ruasare married?
Takara, I doubt he even knows the meaning of the word.
Yeah, that's very true. It is such a great thing to be asking authors for permission too, because for one thing, it's great for actually learning about more people who do writing. And there's a lot of authors that I've had really long chats with, like you, Dr. Blackjack, who have given me ideas on how to just do my own writing and how to do reading a bit better, and even who to talk to. There was another one that I did with a story called Task Accepted. Nixa Lestria, I think. Who they said that they had another story that was coming up that would be a sequel to Task Accepted, and would be very interested if I wanted to do another reading. They also ended up giving me a big list of things of it was a big cheat sheet on writing documentaries. Documentaries is probably the correct word.
I'm familiar with the foreign obsession with vows.
He favors you with a friendly smile.
When it strikes Rusare's fancy that we should sleep under one roof, we do so vigorously. Some think I influence her judgment, but they have the wrong of it. My back is too fragile for the weight of authority, I say.
Is there usually much infighting when this much infighting when outsiders show up?
Ikira, I say circumstances have made us rough around the edges. Outsiders come with cannons, nets, torches. They do not come to talk.
What could you tell me about Ruasare?
She is our Ranga, and the strength of our tribe.
He stands tall, wearing a proud grin.
I have never seen her without a mouthful of koiki. Even in battle, she wears a bandolier of fruit. A spirited, passionate, and very hungry woman is my Rusare.
Just so everyone knows, koiki is sacred fruit of for the Huana. Okay, let's ask around before we go meet her. I would like to meet a couple more people with names. Is Capella following us?
Akira, what now?
Nope. Okay, she's just over here for some reason. Don't know why. Okay, so she just wanders from one side of the village to the other. All right, let's go. Let's meet the Ranga. I mean, that's the best way to write in my experience. Stories have a tendency to write themselves once you get started. The key that a lot of young writers forget is that they have to start. There is definitely a life to a story. You just have to figure out how to give it form. It's more art than anything else that I can really talk about, although, then again, I'm not really that much of an artist. The copper brazier reeks of ashes and burnt hair. A layer of soot and detritus lines the blackened cavity. I'm not placing a bomb. I don't know who's going to be using this. Among the ashes, you find charred fruit pits, scraps of parchment, and shards of poetry, animal bones, and matted bundles of singed hair. Nothing else about the brazier stands out to you as interesting or relevant. I wonder why we could place a bomb in there.
Will do.
The mural is quite faded, but you still recognize the distinct silhouette of Theos Ix Arcanon? I'm sorry. The preparing table for burnt offering. Hold up. Okay, no. We're going back to our boat real quick. We need to swap our party around. So for those who don't know, those who weren't around for the first Pillars of Eternity when I streamed it, and why would you be? That was only like an eternity ago. Theos Ix Arcanon is the leader of the Leaden Key. And that boy is bad news, as he has been body hopping and soul swapping for over several centuries, as he is apparently one of the really old Ingwithans. The Ingwithans were the ancient precursor race that set up a lot of the technology that decides a lot of the world, such as the gods. Yes, all the gods are Ingwithan. Anyway, Theos is one of the Ingwithans, and with his unique ability to swap bodies, has lived for centuries and has been manipulating people for centuries under the interest of serving his god, Wudica. Now, I didn't really like Theos that much. In fact, you might say that I kind of hated Theos. He was an ass. And we killed him dead last time. We absolutely tore his soul to shreds, so he's never coming back. Sure, you mean Captain Ginyu? Basically, yeah. Although I have a suspicion that he can survive outside his body. That's how he keeps surviving. Alright, let's go.
Did you notice their face paint?
I did. So the reason that we pulled up Aloth is because he's looking for the remainder of the Leaden Key so that he can destroy them. He was once a member of the Leaden Key.
My sister returns grinning with a
and he would like to find a way to stop them eternally. He repented. Let's go with that.
That mural. That's the same headdress Theos wore.
Indeed. I'm gonna quick save real quick.
Yeah?
The broad-shouldered woman on the throne lifts her gaze to meet yours. White face paint adds a grim aspect to her stoic demeanor. Smoldering braziers fill the air with the oppressive heat, but she sits at ease.
Her face paint. You don't suppose...
Ruasare turns her gaze to Aloth, who quickly falls silent. She returns her focus to you.
I am the Ranga of this tribe, and will not hesitate to send your soul through Tangaloa's maw if you threaten my people.
She steeples her fingers and watches your every move. I can be snarky as all hell, but that didn't turn out well for me last time, so let's not do that.
The chosen of Ngati is a welcome sight, I say.
She turns her attention towards Takehu with a pause of recognition.
Akara, my thanks to you, dear Ranga, though I bring you no omens this day.
Takehu inclines his head and touches a spot on his brow with 2 fingers.
You have the gift of our hospitality during this audience. Do not abuse it.
The studious-looking man to the Ranga's side scrutinizes you.
But will our hospitality be returned?
A trembling mystic consults a palmful of runes. The Ranga silences him with a look. Shakes hand. Signs point to yes. Sitting forward in her seat, she opens her fist to reveal a plump kawiki fruit. She takes a deep and thoughtful bite.
Takehu, I say we have troubles enough without my people fighting over you.
Akara, just so. I will keep my hands to myself this time.
Jyoti lifts her chin in interest. She nods, turning her focus back to you.
The loss of Mbeta has soured me to outsiders, I say. The Queen sent you to remind us we are vassals. Is that all?
She sets the kawiki down on the armrest and opens her palm, inviting you to speak. Queen Onakaza II proposes an alliance with the Wahaki.
Queen, I am thinking you are very free with this meaningless outsider word. Foreigners hold the islands upside down, shaking them to loosen their riches. Onakaza gives them comfort. Akira, these are not the actions of a queen.
You don't think she's just biding her time?
Bah! Then she never should have let the foreigners take a step onto Deadfire soil. You think the queen is cunning, but she is on the brink of losing her power.
Ruasare makes a disgusted, sweeping motion with her hand. Huh. You're falling for the same trap that the foreigners are, assuming that she's weak on the basis of appearance. Ruasare opens her mouth to speak out against you, but stops herself. Takehu rocks back on his heels, nodding to himself.
The Kahanka queen shows her belly so that the enemy will overlook her claws.
She nods to herself.
This is a worthy tactic. Valia and Rawatai are foolish enough to fall for it. Before I agree to Onakaza's terms, I must deal with a pest of my own. Not as large as the trading companies, but nearly as vicious. You are knowing that the purchase of foreign slaves is allowed in the Deadfire?
Jesus, everything fucking comes down to Crooksfur. I'm familiar with the practice.
To buy and sell kith is the work of monsters. These slavers hunt the waters around Oreo Kuiki. Like cowards, they shy away from the deeper jungle.
In spite of Ruasare's hearty guffaw, there is no trace of humor reaching her eyes.
They steal my people from their fishing boats and sell them like pigs at auction. Where is Onikaza to stop them? Someone must teach them the meaning of Wahaki vengeance, I say.
Are you talking about Crooksburg? I already dealt with them.
Could this be true?
She glances to her attendants. The priest consults his bones. His brow raises, and he nods to the queen.
What say? If those parasites drew their final breaths, I would hear of it.
Master Kua is dead. His business is finished.
While Onikaza plays at diplomacy, we are the spear in the guts of our enemies. I have come to expect troubling news from outsiders. Today is no different, but at least you bring me a tale for my grandchildren.
Nodding to herself, Ruisare looks you up and down, weighing something unspoken.
Tell Onikaza that the Wahaki accept her authority. If the time comes when she needs to show foreigners the breadth of her power, we will be there. The hospitality of the Wahaki is yours. Respect our ways, and cause no trouble.
Well, that all happened. Why has everything got to... They made, like, a whole lot of different branching quests, right? But it's all to do with Crooksburg. Storm Speaker, Villager.
Yeah? Yeah? Sure.
Outsider. Unlike Barapo, I do not use this as a term of offense, I say.
Tangara gives you a pleasant smile.
We do not see many visitors on Oreo Koiki. Those who come seldom leave.
What are your thoughts on Barapo?
How he fills our home with the stink of his burnt offerings.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that in a bit. Tangara wrinkles his nose and waves his hand in a dispelling motion.
A rational mystic burns incense or candles, but Barapo burns Koiki, rotten meat, and bundles of hair. Nothing is spared his flame if it appeases the gods.
You said that outsiders don't tend to leave Ori Okuiki?
They come asking our Ranga to show her belly and surrender. Instead, she shows them their guts at the end of a spear.
Tangara grins and makes a thrusting motion with both hands. What's wrong with your construct?
A valuable lesson about animancy, I say. There is quality and there is cheap, but never both.
Tangara sighs, patting one of his pockets to the jingling of a few shells.
The rust bucket does not follow my instructions and ignores my command words.
I could take a look at the construct for you.
I am appreciating the offer, but it is better if I learn how to operate my degraded friend. I would be a poor host if the ironclad thing decided to remove your skin.
He chuckles, but the humor doesn't quite reach his eyes. I'm something of a construct expert myself. If I got a closer look at the make of this one, I could narrow down the source of the malfunction. Raising his fingers to his lips, Tangara scrutinizes you in silence. Jyoti puffs out a heated breath.
Akira, it seems I must credit the gods for sending you to Oreo Koiki. Barapo be damned, I say. Here, the command words. They do me little good.
He passes you a tattered scroll and shrugs, smiling wanly. Most of this document is drafted in a careful official hand. Another author appears to have made several hasty additions. To our valued customer, on behalf of the dedicated staff of the Consignment and Salvage Clearinghouse, we would like to congratulate you on your recent purchase of 1 Construct Salvaged Refurbished. Per your contract with our licensed dealer, Remo Caldera, salvage marker 56221, payment of trade goods and undisclosed services has been accepted. We hope you are pleased with your order. Sincerest regards, Rowan Gyakin? I'm going to go with Gyakin. Shipping Quartermaster, Cask. Dealer notes, if any. Patrol Command, unreliable. Attack Command, unreliable. Guard Command, unreliable. See accompanying document for command words. Functionality highly dependent on pronunciation and emphasis. Good luck. In other words, thing doesn't work. Okay, where is this construct? Damn thing's broke. I don't think he's standing next to his construct, is he? We're gonna have a bit of a chat with Barapo. Ah, here it is. Why is he all the way over there? The construct trembles and rattles, its vacant gaze wandering without purpose. Habit and routine are seemingly the only forces keeping it upright. You read the words of the scroll, doubtful of the faded arcane scribblings, until a tingling sensation passes your lips. The construct abruptly hardens its bearing and turns to you, standing at attention. It seems that conflicting instructions from too many masters has led to the rapid degeneration of this construct's short-term memory. You draw out the babbling, incoherent mess of instructions received over the years. The construct trembles throughout the procedure. The construct now stands at ease, regarding its surroundings with fresher clarity. Maybe this will prove useful later. Huh.
On it.
Interesting. There's a secret room back there. Don't know how to get in there though. Where the hell is Buparo?
Come no closer, outsider.
You reach into her soul, chasing that spark of recognition. You feel hundreds of births and deaths within her, forming and disappearing like bubbles in boiling water. You sift past them all, focusing your overwhelming senses on the memory of a strange foreign man. When at last you seize it, you find yourself in the very same throne room, but the condition of the place and the memory of your host suggests that it is many, many hundreds of years ago, if not more. You are seated on the dais. A man is brought before you, dressed in a stifling black robe. He reminds you of a corpse dressed for a funeral. He reminds you of something else, too, but one of your attendants leans in and interrupts the thought before you can follow it. She tells you that this is the man you asked to see, and that his people have been harassing yours. He calls himself Theos Ix Arcanon. Explain yourself, stranger. He gives you a smile that sets your teeth on edge.
Your Excellency, I come to warn your people. Your presence among these ruins is an affront to the gods. You must remove yourself, lest you face the gods' wrath.
Indeed, the man is an even greater fool than you had been told. The gods surely take their time. We have lived here 200 years, and they have yet to raise an objection.
The timeline of the gods is not for mortals to understand. But even their patience shall wear thin, especially after this warning.
You certainly feel your patience wearing thin. Who is he, this foreigner, to send your people from their halls and homes? And who is he to tell your people, the survivors, about the wrath of the gods? What ungrateful guest of Vix's host. Our ancestors built this place centuries ago. We will not leave. For a moment, his unctuous facade melts away, and he blinks at you and your attendants. You get the impression that your response has surprised him.
Your people cling tightly to their history.
His jaw is tight as he speaks. He swallows hard, as if gulping something unpleasant.
But where are these designs among your arts? Where is the carved Adra in your wooden huts? These places were not built by the Huana, but by an ancient people from a distant land.
You knew he was a fool, but now you suspect he is a dangerous one. His words are a lie, but like the very best lies, they contain the shadow of truth. Everyone knows foreigners once lived among your people as guests, but they have not been seen in 200 years. What prickles the back of your neck is the question of how he might know this, and why he brings it to you. The murals in this place and the stories of our ancestors tell it differently. How would you, foreigner, know our history better than our own grandfathers?
I have seen your murals, and I know that you will recognize this.
He produces a helm with 2 horn-like protrusions and a mask attached. He is correct. You do recognize it. Your guards and attendants gasp. The man, Theos, smiles more broadly.
It was my people who built these places, and now I come before you bearing their warning.
At least that much is true. You turn to your guards. Seize him. Just as a look of surprise appears on Theos' face, the ancient Ranga's memory skips ahead. You are looking at Theos once more. This time, however, he and a score of robed men and a woman are bound amidst a heap of peat and wood. This time, he is staring at you in disbelieving fury. You have gathered your people and told them that the foreigners before them are the same ones who came to the island centuries ago. And now your people are angry and frightened too, because every Wahaki remembers the story of how these foreigners abused the hospitality of their Huana hosts. So great was their iniquity that the gods destroyed the great city of Okaizo and many others beside. Watch now as I wipe their stain from among us. The people cheer. Theos struggles and yells, but his words are drowned out. Let us never forget that these foreigners are a trickster, or that this foreigner is a trickster and his people a plague. Hundreds of Wahaki stamp their feet and beat the ground with the butts of their spears. Still, Theos scowls and thrashes in protest. From this day forward, we must be vigilant. Let us root out such foreigners and keep our lands pure of their wickedness. The tribe cheers louder than ever. Young and old, Mataru and Roparu, all are united in purpose. A change seems to come over Theos. The struggle leaves his body and the rage departs his face. Good. Let him accept his end. One of your attendants offers you a torch. You hurl the torch. The flames spread quickly. The foreigner screams as the fire advances. All except Theos, who looks back at you with a strange smile of satisfaction. You pull back from the memory, and the gruesome scene evaporates around you.
Why do you stare so?
Do you recognize the name Theos? Or the Leaden Key?
I know only that they clang and clash like foreign names.
She frowns, yet something in her soul sparks the kindling held to a flame. There is an ancient presence there with its own memory. Okay, we've already seen this.
Why do you stare so?
What is the significance of your face paint?
The Wahaki show outsiders that we know their deceitful face.
She spits on the floor.
My ancestor knew this face well. She recalled its every hateful curve to the Wahaki histories. We wear the bone-white grimace of our enemies and take power from it.
I came across a ravaged merchant ship not far from here.
Akira, outsiders know better than to draw close to Wahaki lands.
Her fingers ball into a fist.
We leave the symbol of the war club as we have for generations. A warning, I say. A reminder.
That war club looks like a much older version of the Leaden Key insignia.
Aloth leans close, whispering to you.
One which goes unheeded.
These this Ingwithian that's a nope.
I know only that they clang. Do not speak the name of those who felled mighty Ukaizo. Their spirits are unwelcome.
Ruasare narrows her eyes and studies you closely.
We do not hide. We are protecting a way of life that others would trample under their boots. The trading companies would strip the land that the gods gifted us and unmake the works of our ancestors. There is much to protect in the Deadfire. Too much for any single tribe. What say? While Onakaza plays at Diplo, I have come.
Okay, this is the same. Did I just get a whole bunch of memory? Or,
Yeah, right.
I may have just gotten another bunch of XP. That's interesting.
Back there, with the chieftain. Did you see something?
I did.
Yes?
I read an ancient memory in Ruasare's soul and found a link to the leaden key. You tell Aloth about the past life you glimpsed in Ruasare's soul, about her long ago meeting with Theos, his warning about the ruins, her decision to execute him, and her mandate that the Wahaki, or to the Wahaki, to defend their territory from the outsiders.
That's like what he told the Glanfathans. Well, I bet he didn't expect they'd kill him for it. Would have loved to see the look on his face.
Then the Wahaki are the painted masks. They've been serving the Leaden Key's interests for 2,000 years without even knowing it.
Aloth blinks, working through the implications.
Though not, it seems, in the way Theos intended.
He frowns, rubbing his chin.
Now that's just wrong.
What are you thinking, Aloth?
Belief is a curious thing. Once, the Wahaki believed they were guarding themselves against the Ingwithians, Theos' people. Yet over time, they became hostile toward all outsiders.
A thoughtful furrow splits his brow. What of it?
It's not just that the Wahaki misread Theos' original message. It fundamentally changed them. They went from being a large and well-connected tribe to a much smaller one defined by isolationism.
And this has got you thinking again about the consequences of your intervention.
You see all the ninnying I suffer from this lad? Right sure 'tis ratting all around in his noggin. You know me too well.
His wry grin doesn't quite banish his air of melancholy.
I've been chasing the Leaden Key, trying to undo the harm they've caused. But what if I'm only making matters worse?
Private agony muffles his voice. His breath catches in his throat as the full weight of his words hits him.
Might I be to blame? Have I made a grievous mistake in getting involved?
Huh. I think I want to go with this one. If you didn't try at all, you'd be responsible for the harm the Leaden Key continues doing.
I suppose that's true. It's an intimidating thought, but a heartening one too.
Perhaps it was naive to think I could dismantle a 2,000-year-old organization in a single lifetime. But it's worth it to try.
Probably can't do worse than Whitewind's legacy.
Thank you for your rousing show of confidence.
The strange thing is, this whole ordeal has given me some sympathy for Theos. Not that I condone his actions, of course.
He quickly clears his throat.
But I can't imagine he thought he'd destroy an entire generation either. Well, not in the beginning, anyway.
He clasps his hands and presses his lips together, trying to formulate a thought. When he opens his mouth again, he speaks as if he's choosing his words carefully.
What I mean to say is, he thought he was doing the right thing. Even at the end.
Then his example is a cautionary tale for you. We should learn from it.
A prudent suggestion. At any rate, it will be a relief to move forward. It was always too comfortable to leave the hard decisions to others. To simply follow along.
He cocks his head in reflection and inclines it towards you.
I only wonder now what sort of decision you'll have to make when we finally confront Aethys.
Yeah, we're getting close to that. I trust there's a reason for what he's doing.
Then you have more faith than I. Anyway, thank you. This has lifted a great burden from my shoulders.
All right.
Yes?
Cool.
Encountering the Wahaki has forced me to face some uncomfortable truths. There was a time when I would have mourned that knowledge, but not now. Thank you.
What's your opinion on the Huana leadership?
The Queen seems to operate with a light hand on the tiller, so to speak. And I think that's a good thing. What the Deadfire needs is someone who can lead its people without smothering them. I'm still trying to make sense of it. To think that Aethys would destroy the wheel. Meanwhile, the gods squabble over what to do next. They're no better than the scheming authorities here.
Look at all those levels. I still... Here you go, buddy.
Visitor, I hope your time on Ori...
Wait, can we command it to do something? I'm not ordering it to kill him. That would be a dick move. Let's see here. We do have a couple levels to go through. Actually, let's get some Arcana up. The more Arcana we have, the more people can cast the maximum level scrolls. And those are good. Spell resistance seems good. Grab that though. Reduced casting means that he can finish casting his staff much sooner.
Yes? Yes? Of course.
What do you need? What are you needing from me?
Well, I think we're already done here. So that was a very short trip. Like, no joke, I'm pretty sure we're just done because the whole point of coming here was to get the quest to get a Crookspur, but we've already done Crookspur. So it's just done.
I trust you.
Time to leave, I guess. Take a look at this shipwreck. How are we doing on food, water? We got plenty. For now. I think we need to go to Nekataka again. Alright. Later, Zutara. Thank you for stopping in and giving me some chat. Glad we dealt with the whole Theos problem, I guess. Hear a knock at the door to your quarters. An unexpectedly cold wind blows across the deck of the ship, and even after several hours, has not abated. Beedol sheepishly knocks at your cabin door. When he enters, his skin is pale, his brow dotted with beads of sweat. Begging your pardon, Captain, but this is an ill wind sent by Andra. We've sailed too long without offering her tribute. She's sure to punish us if we don't give her what's due. He tilts his head towards the hatch, beckoning you to follow him on the deck. I think we can spare something. You head above deck with a chest of coins and gather the crew around you as you stand at the ship's edge. With a brief exhortation to Andra, you pour the money overboard. The crew members nod and sing a short shanty that celebrates Andra's mercy. As they return to work, Beedol gives you a word of thanks for honoring the goddess. Yup. By the next day, winds have subsided, and the crew is glad that the Lady of Lament appears to have been placated by your donation to the seafloor. Can't be superstitious here because, oh, you know, they're actually real gods. You know? Okay. Hold up. We got some bounties to turn in. So we killed Veen, returned to Ania. What are you meowing about? I turn around and there's just Bart meowing at the top of his lungs. You should hear him when he's hungry. He is a completely different kitty. Outside of the Valiant Trading Republic. Okay. So here. All right. I've still got about an hour left to go.
My little privateer. You have news for me?
My God, you still finding stuff? I thought you would have run out by now. I dealt with Veen.
Perfetto. A pirate deserves no better send-off than a watery tomb.
Oh, good. Well, the salamander likes nothing more than a horde of stories. Having another storyteller come to the fire makes things a lot easier. You're being really picky? Oh.
But you did not just come to deliver good news. You came for work, Ak?
What bounties do you have available?
You've done well for the company. My last target is Desiwa the Shark, a Rawatayan Kasita who we suspect of intimidating survey ships.
Her lips pulls back in a hate-filled sneer. I've already killed her.
Perfetto. For once our survey ships may take to the waters without fear. Knowing that is almost priceless. You've taken all the work from the louses of Queen's Birth, and I have nothing more to offer you, save this.
Hesitating, Anya sticks out her hand and tips her head to the side, wearing an awkward smile. Been a pleasure working with you, Anya. Okay, you know what? That's actually a pretty good thing that we can do. I don't want to start a new quest yet, because we're probably not going to finish it before the end of the stream. We could just do wrap up some bounties. For everyone you've suggested, you've rejected like 20. Are there any... So a lot of my stuff has come from Humanity, like HFY. But are there any non-HFY writing Reddits that you read? It seems like just a lot of them do come from HFY. By sea. That's true. That's very true. And I assume that you do want to see me read your stories at some point. No sleep and wholesome no sleep. I've not heard of those. Kill Ernox. Island in the middle of Magrin's Teeth. Magrin's Teeth. Also, let's just get this on the map. Because we still have places to map out. Oh geez, they're just going through the food and water. I have a lot of food. I'm not really worried about running out of food. The water's going down a little bit faster than I would like. Those are cannons. Like, dude, are you sure? We don't have a cannoneer. There we go. That'll last us a little bit. El Hero will Tabakna. No Sleep is pretty much horror, but the twist is the stories have to feel real, meaning that no matter how ridiculous the story is, it has to be presented as if it's actually happening. Wholesome No Sleep is a little less strict, but it's basically horror with a wholesome twist. Interesting. Are you familiar? You're not much of a Tumblr person, right, Dr. Blackjack? I have another person who submits a lot of Tumblr stories. And there's a particular writer that I'm very fond of, who I occasionally get a couple of stories from every now and then. Okay, so you're probably not familiar with Eladice. Does a lot of prompt stories. So really short stories just based off a writing prompt. I am not doing this because this... No, this is a horrible racist waste of time. Okay. How much time? Jesus. I still don't know how to get into Shadowed Vale. Wait, can we do Shadowed Vale now? Your story, The Song of Souls, is no sleep. Every night you have the same dream is wholesome, no sleep. Okay. So we get a little bit of variety there. Okay, so this is how to get into Shadowed Vale. Those are tentacles. Brutish blood. Those are clearly tentacles. Like, you guys are seeing this, right? Those are definitely tentacles. The land here is shattered and barren, eerily quiet, with jagged hillocks plunging abruptly into the calm, clear seas. No birds fly above, and you've not spotted the first boar, rat, or lizard. By comparison, the camp ahead positively bustles. Horses are tied off to stakes, a robed figure, cow pulled over its head, sits upon a crate, and a scent of a hearty stew wafts from the pot hanging over the small campfire. Thoughts? Alright, first we get into their good graces with carrots. Then we brush out their manes. They look matted. If they're not our friends by then, we go back to back to the carrots. Adair's attention lingers on the horses. That is not what I meant. Takehu? Watching someone cook their dinner is not the highlight of our time together, but I say it makes for a pleasant distraction. Takehu holds his growling stomach. Aloth? Something ain't right here, Aloth says. There's an unusual magical presence, but I can't pinpoint it. And finally, you wonder what you think, but only you can answer that. Jyoti shrugs. If it's a trap, it doesn't seem like much of one. As you advance, the flaps on the two of the closer tents open, disgorging a lithe wood elf in Adiran finery, a bulky Amawa with cerulean skin, and one of the savannah folk, who levels a large crossbow at your heart. Not another step closer, stranger, he says. The elf smiles warmly at you, rather mixing the message. The robed figure within the camp makes no move at all. Who are you? The Adiran, still smiling, cants her head slightly to the right. Who is anyone? Her words ring melodically, almost harmonizing with themselves. Who are you? I am Sephi Merrigan, captain of the Defiant, formerly Watcher of Kadnua. The island Amawa's lips curl into an expression somewhere between a grimace and a grin. And many things beside, no doubt. All of the works you added were HFY, but you tried to get a variety of styles and takes on it. The only rule for HFY is it has to involve humans being awesome. But within that rule, there's a lot of variety. Yeah, that's true. My friend here likes your horses. Adair nods. Well, we haven't properly met yet, so I couldn't say for sure. But I got a good feeling about him. The Adiran woman bows slightly at the waist, brown hair falling over her face in loose curls. In that case, who are we to keep you from our company? Please, join us by our fire. That was the easiest way to get in I've ever seen. Well, first I gotta actually, ask many of the authors for permission. The way that I see it is that if I can't get author permission within a month of it getting added, I just reject it to remove it from the list. Do you know how much of this chain of islands? While the Amawa shakes his head and says very little, the Adiran grins and answers, "A thing or two." "Why?" asked the dusky human. "The geography here. It's like the land has been twisted or broken by some great power." The Adiran nods. "Perhaps it has. A great cataclysm shook this realm in ages past." The Amawa shakes his head. "But there's not much we can tell you about it." "Who's your hooded friend?" The woman laughs lightly. "Just that. Perhaps you should ask yourself." You approach the figure, who makes no move. Each step takes you closer, yet somehow also further away. The crossing seems to take minutes, and the campfire falls away to your periphery. Yet you can't stop. Bending low, you peer under the hood, into the face within. A hairless face with pale gray skin, thin lips, and a narrow nose, and no eye sockets at all. What in the name of wow is going on here? The visage smiles, its mouth curling at the corners. The figure stands. You shudder. No, the ground shudders. Or the air. The dirt churns beneath your feet, and your stomach leaps into your throat as the ground opens beneath you. You plunge into darkness. When you wake, the ground is bare. No tents, no horses, no traces even of a campfire. Well, that was interesting. You know, we could probably do a horror-themed storytelling with that many stories. We've got October coming up, after all. I still don't know what the deal is with all these tentacles. Also, what is that gem? After an arduous journey, you finally reach the center of the volcanic devastation. Before you is a broad-faced stone building, rugged with age. The Eye of Wow, solitary and all-seeing, is emblazoned above the door. You approach the door. Though clearly made only of stone, you feel the burn of the eyes regard between your eyes. The door swings open without a sound and reveals a dark, narrow staircase winding down into the earth. You only do a little bit of horror in there. Probably switch, I'm guessing.
I've got it.
Yep, switch. An Ingwithan tomb? Or
I do rather enjoy puzzles.
an Ingwithan ruin to WoW. Ah, okay. I see how this is. Don't have to press every single button. Just the ones that we need to press. Interesting.
You might find this interesting.
Yeah, go ahead and trigger it.
I'm fine. Something I can do? What do you need? Of course.
Grappling hook.
I will wear this scar with pride.
I gotta be careful with how many of those I take, because traps are actually pretty lethal in this. After a certain number of wounds, they will kill me. Just outright.
I'll just say another prayer that we can find our way back out.
Yeah, I'm worried about that at this point. This one's not trapped. Ooh, that was something that I need to upgrade something to a legendary item. Shit. Things just got more complicated.
What can I do?
Oh, things just got a lot more complicated.
Happy to oblige.
Okay, however, we can split the party if we need to.
Yes. Yes. I shall.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one does. Also, we might as well level up while we are thinking about it and just not in danger. Which one character? Describe them. Oh, yeah. Alright. Sorry, I'm just reading through chat. I don't know what's being talked about, but something's happening. Entropy. "100% of incoming hits converted to crits." Ooh. That's pretty nice. Yeah. The Hand of Weal and Woe. Priest calls forth a beam of light and heals allies and burns enemies caught in the ray. Take raw damage. Spark of... Oh, I remember this one. This one's really good. We're taking that. Spark of the Righteous Soul is a damage over time that gets stronger the more enemies you're facing.
All right.
So if you're facing a whole lot of them at the same time, then it's really good.
Yeah.
And will decimate numbers.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. That opened the door.
Speak your mind.
Okay, get over here. And stand over here.
You have my attention. What say?
I hope you all like the sound of grating doors because that's what's going to be happening for a while.
What can I do you for?
Will do.
Oh, okay, sweet. Okay, that worked. Sexy space babes. Oh, okay. It's a popular ongoing story on HFY. Premise is that humanity is the only species where males are physically tougher and larger, and the average female alien is an 8-foot tall Amazon. And they think we're cute. Oh. Huh. Interesting. I can see how that might start to get a little bit fan servicey after a while. Okay, that's a little bit ominous. Look at all those. I got a cat underneath my chair. This, most races are 10/90 male, female. Oh, okay. I assume that's percentages. What is this? The Eye of Whale. 45% damage, accuracy, 5% chance to cast random illusion spell. We read the books not yet written. We see beyond the shroud of death. We seek the heart of all knowledge. We walk on plains beyond. Defy the wheel, defy death. Take the seal, the eye, the mark. Awaken. Inscribed on the shaft of the scepter is the phrase Esoterica Proliferata. The moment the scepter is in your hand, a chorus of voices rise. They chant in Engwithan, Eldadiran, Avalian, Huana, each word holding its echo in languages you do not know. What does this upgrade to? At first it was a pretty clean story. If anything, the author seems to be trying to make their male readers uncomfortable by forcing the human male into scenarios where he had to worry about his safety. Because he needed to escort an escort to keep from being treated like an object rather than a person. It was so well done. You had your you were half convinced that there were two authors, male and female. Alright. There's a cat that's being extremely cute just off screen right now. I want you all to know this because I'm not turning the cat cam on. Okay, I might in a little bit. He is being so goddamn cute. He's about to bite me. I know he's about to bite me because he started licking. There's the bite. Ow. Ow. You little rascal. Hey, Somek. We were talking about stories. You want to give him the rundown, Dr. Blackjack? 10% chance to cast random affliction on scoring a critical hit. Lidless gaze. Whale watches with countless eyes. Cast a gaze spell in an area, petrifying or terrifying enemies.